What is up, guys? I'm Francis, the instructor, back with another tutorial video for Get Licensed Driving School, and today we're going to talk about anticipation and planning. Anticipation and planning is a really important skill. If you're going to drive down busy roads, then you need to be able to plan ahead and anticipate. When you first start driving, I guarantee you'll just be looking at what's at the end of your bonnet, what's 10 meters in front of you, and planning your moves one step at a time. When you drive proficiently and efficiently, you need to be looking to the end of the road, 100 meters, 200 meters if the road is that clear ahead of you, and you'll be able to plan 5, 6, 7 steps ahead. So let's have a look at the things you need to be planning for. We need to be planning ahead to see if any cars are going to emerge into the road ahead of you, if any cyclists are ahead of you, how are you going to overtake them? You need to be planning for buses. If a bus pulls into a bus stop, you need to be thinking far enough ahead so that you can overtake it without having to stop behind it. If there's a pedestrian on the pavement, you need to be planning far enough ahead so that you see that pedestrian about to step into the road so that you can take evasive action before they're in the road and in front of your car. Planning ahead is also really useful in traffic situations. If you're approaching a green traffic light, you need to be planning that that traffic light might change to red so that if you get near it and it does change, you're ready to brake for it and you don't have to panic. If you're following a line of traffic, you need to be looking not just at the car in front, 5, 10 cars ahead, because if the 5, 10th car starts braking, that's going to have a ripple effect and come back to you. So if you can be planning that you need to slow down that far ahead, you're going to have a much smoother brake. If you spot the car in front's brake lights come on and you're only then starting to react to it, that's going to mean you have to brake sharply, you won't have checked your mirror to see what's behind you, and you won't have done all the other safety things that you need to get done while you're in traffic. So realistically, how far down the road should you be looking? You should be looking as far down the road as you can see. If you can see 100 meters, 200 meters ahead of you, you need to be spotting all the hazards that are there. If you look all the way to the end of the road, if it's 100 meters, even 50 meters away, you'll be able to fit the whole road and the pavements into a really small gap. So you won't have to bounce your eyes left and right to catch what's on the pavement. If you're only planning 10, 20 meters ahead of you, what's in front of you is now really wide and you'll have to be looking left and right onto the pavements, and especially to catch road signs, because where are the road signs? They're on the pavement. So if you're not looking as far down the road as you can, you won't be spotting the road signs because they're in your peripheral vision if they get to this stage. Because once they're 10, 20 meters ahead of you, road signs are now in your peripheral vision and you're not taking in that information as effectively as the stuff in front of you. So the way I teach my students is look all the way to the end of the road and then loop back around, taking in the pavements, and work back to what's happening here. And then as the road progresses or opens up into a new section, look again all the way to the end, take in the road signs, and then loop back around and see what's happening ahead of you, and keep doing that over and over again. Planning ahead and anticipating the next moves of other people on the road is a skill. You're not going to get it like that, but with practice you'll be able to spot things happening, and with experience, the more times you've seen a situation, the easier it's going to be to anticipate and plan what's exactly happening at that situation before it happens. This links into hazard perception. If you haven't seen the hazard perception video, click here, and that is exactly why they put hazard perception into the theory test, so that people can practice planning ahead and anticipating before they get behind the wheel, and so that your hazard perception and planning and anticipation skills are at a certain level before you're released onto the road with a pink license. So let's go and see what we've got to anticipate and plan in this area. So pedestrian on the left, he's coming towards the road. I'm planning and anticipating the fact that he might walk out in front of me. Really useful to be able to have that information in advance so that if he does, I'm ready to brake and it's not a surprise or a shock. So the car ahead is braking. I can plan and anticipate. Why are they braking? What's affecting them that might affect me? Okay, there's an island and I'm going to need to move, so I'll brake as well. Loads of people on the left, pedestrians. Is any of those guys going to start walking into the road? Planning ahead, anticipation. I'm planning that there's a zebra crossing up ahead and I'm anticipating someone might cross, so I'm ready to look left and right onto the pavements and see the lady's going to cross. Because I planned that so far in advance, I was able to stop really smoothly and check my mirror, and then no drama. If I wasn't planning ahead, that lady would have got to the zebra crossing just as I did and we would have had a problem. Wow, that was a good example. Okay, planning ahead here. We're both going to meet that meeting situation at the same time, so I'm slowing down and I'm going to let that car through. Because I planned ahead, I was able to figure out my options. Could I do acceleration sense? Or did I need to hold back? I needed to hold back, didn't I? So, because I planned it so far in advance, that was an easy choice. If you haven't seen the video on meeting situations, click here and you'll get that explained in a little bit more depth. So now I'm following a really high-sided vehicle, this big lorry up ahead of me. So I'm leaving more gap between us because I haven't got the luxury of being able to see 5-10 cars ahead so that I can plan what's happening ahead of me. The bigger the gap I leave, the more I can see around the van and the more notice I've got about whether they're going to brake sharply or whether there's someone going to run out in front of me, because again, I can't see what's happening ahead. So there's a big van and I'm going to overtake them because I've planned it so far in advance. I've been able to check the mirror 3 times there, keeping all the motorbikes and cyclists safe on the road. There's obviously a fairly heavy amount of traffic ahead, so I'm leaving a bigger gap between us, me and the big lorry ahead, so that if they brake, I've got more time to brake smoothly. And we're coming up to a traffic light, so I can see the traffic lights, I can see the brake lights. I'm braking nice and early. I'm planning where I'm going to stop. Remember, Tyres On Tarmac, stopping distances. If you haven't seen the stopping distances video, really important, click here to watch that one. Tyres On Tarmac, perfect. Okay, so now we're driving down the road. It's quite a busy road and I'm looking as far down the road as I can. Van ahead, I need to note that so that I can check the mirror, make sure there's nothing overtaking me at the same time, and I can go around them. And then keep planning ahead. Is that van on the left going to jump out into the flow of traffic? Are those traffic lights going to change? I'm considering absolutely everything so that if anything happens, I'm ready for it. There's a guy on the right as well that's pressed the button, but remember, these traffic lights might change just to control the flow of traffic, regardless of whether there's any pedestrians there. So that's really good anticipation and planning ahead as well. How much can I see ahead of me now? Not a lot. That BMW is quite a large vehicle, but I can look just over the top of it and there's a red light, so I'm planning on stopping. I've checked what's happening behind me. I'm braking nice and early to show the car my brake lights. They'll start slowing down as well, and I can stop in a good position, tyres on tarmac. Driving so much more relaxing and enjoyable when you plan ahead. Nothing jumps out at you. When people say, oh my God, it just jumped out at me, that pedestrian or that cyclist just jumped out at me, nothing just jumps out. It's not GTA, nothing respawns. What happened was you didn't plan ahead. Lights are changing and we slow down. Nice and early, really calmly, and tyres on tarmac. And again, as soon as we get a new piece of road, look all the way to the end and then work your way around the sides. Overtaking a van and there's a car jumping into the flow of traffic, so I'm going to hold back a little bit in case the car in front needs to slow down for that. The cyclist ahead, see, we're passing a van now, she's going to start moving to the right. I've anticipated that and slowed down. I'm not going to try and overtake a cyclist if I'm trying to overtake something else at the same time. And then let's look ahead, is she going to overtake anything else? Or is the traffic just slowing down? If the traffic's coming to a stop, I don't think there's any point in overtaking the cyclist. We're just going to do a dangerous move that she's going to be put in danger by, and then she's just going to come straight past us. Again, planning all the way down the road. There's 3 things I can see here: traffic slowing, traffic lights, and parked car on the left. All those 3 things I need to know about before I come to it. And again, now we're moving, new stretch of road, look all the way to the end, and then work your way back, taking in what's happening at the side of the road. Any signs to look out for? None that are affecting me. But there's a high density of pedestrians, so I need to know what's happening on the pavements. That's why we're working our way around the sides of the road as well. Not just looking at what's on the road, because it's not just other cars that we need to look after, it's all road users, and that includes pedestrians. So we're setting off again, and I'm not falling asleep. I'm still assessing and scanning the road. Traffic lights have changed, I'm ready for that. So there's no point changing up a gear, there's no point accelerating, because I'm gonna have to stop again in a minute. So I'm saving fuel and saving brakes. What's happening ahead? Loads to look out for here. Do you see the guy just step off the pavement there? I'm looking out for pedestrians. That's why if I'm just looking ahead of me, what's happening on the road, I'm going to miss all of that stuff. Because I was ready for those lights, I was ready to brake. So we're on a wide road with 2 lanes here. Speed limit's 30 miles an hour. It's definitely safe to do 30 miles an hour, but I'm considering all the dangers: pedestrians, traffic lights, loads of parked vans, which is obscuring my vision of what's happening on the pavement. Lady crossing the road, and another van. I can't see what's happening behind it. What if one of those doors were to open on any of those cars? Have you seen that clip in the hazard perception test? Definitely. You're driving through a town centre and the car door opens. Classic hazard perception test clip. Even once you're stationary, don't fall asleep. It's still possible to plan ahead and anticipate. So what could happen here? Cyclists, motorbikes. I'm checking my left and right mirror, making sure I keep updated with everything that's happening around me. Is that car going to jump out on me? Nope. But he looked like he was going to, right? These traffic lights, I'm expecting them to change, but I was definitely past the stop line by the time the amber light came on, so it would be inappropriate there to slam on my brakes and stop for that light. and I can see an arrow on the road ahead. That means that the traffic's merging, so I'm checking my mirror because I'm planning all of this in advance. It's not coming as a surprise. So looking ahead, I can see there's a 155 bus ahead of me that has slowed down to a stop, and the car that was on the right, did you see I was braking there? Way in advance, so I was ready for that to happen. So as I'm driving down the road here, what can you guys see? Work your eyes all the way to the end of the road. Anything there? Great. Speed signs, the speed limit's changing, we need that information because as we get closer to it, now it's in your peripheral vision, as in too far to the left and right. If you're looking ahead, you're not going to catch those signs, but if you're looking towards the end of the road, you will catch that nice and early. Okay, this is going to take some planning and anticipation. Everyone's overtaking the bus, but is it possible for me to overtake the bus? Is there any traffic oncoming? Am I going to block them off by overtaking the bus? Okay, I think that's a safe move. I've checked my mirrors, and that was good. If I just approach the bus and get behind it and then start making those decisions, they're probably not going to be good decisions. Let's turn left here. What are we planning and anticipating? Those pedestrians are probably just going to cross without looking over their shoulder at what's coming. Of course they are. It's not just cars and bikes that we need to look after, it's pedestrians as well. But because I saw the pedestrians nice and early, everyone's really safe. Okay, so let's pull over here. Right, so anticipation and planning, you can see how important it is now. If you've just started your driving lessons and you haven't covered this yet, it's really important to start looking and planning ahead as far down the road as you can, spotting signs, spotting hazards, and spotting everything else that's happening before you get to this situation, especially traffic lights. Too many times I have learner drivers who are very new to driving, see an amber traffic light and straight away slam on the brake, when if you'd have planned a little bit further back down the road that those lights might change, you'd have been able to brake nice and gently or decide to carry on through the lights if you're too close to the lights. So anticipation and planning, is it important? Definitely. Practice this over and over again. It's good to do a commentary in the car like I was doing. I was pointing out everything that was happening. If you're learning with parents or friends or family, not with a driving instructor, you might be missing this element of your teaching. So try it. Do a commentary next time you're with your mum in the car. Hazard, 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 point it all out. And if they spot a hazard that you don't, maybe you can play a game with it. The 10p game. Give your mum or dad or friend or family 10p every time they spot a hazard that you don't. Trust me, if you play this game, you will start spotting hazards super early. I'm Francis, the instructor with Get Licensed Driving School. Comment below. I read through all the comments and I'll be commenting back with you. Always let me know what else you want me to record. I'm here to help you guys learn to drive. So until the next video, I'll catch you guys soon.